1, go.
Goeiemôre graad 12 en welkom by vandag se Afrikaans eerste addisionele les. Good morning grade 12 and welcome to today's Afrikaans first additional language lesson. Aan die einde van die les sal jy die gedig Rondom my begryp. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to comprehend the poem Rondom my. Jy sal sekere poëtiese aspekte in die gedig kan identifiseer. You will be able to identify certain poetic devices in the poem en jy sal vrae rakende die gedig kan beantwoord. You will be able to answer questions from past papers. Okay, so ek gaan hierdie gedig lees. I'm going to read through the poem and then I'm going to look at the translation and then we are going to analyze the poem and then look at past papers. So Rondom my is geskryf deur Dawie die Jager. He's the writer. Kom ons kyk gou. Ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer. Ek moet my tyd vat hierdie keer. Want die haastigheid in my het my al veel te veel keer ondergekry. My ondergekry. Ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer. Ek moet my tyd vat hierdie keer. Ek sien die blou in jou deur die bietjie in jou oë. Ek weet daar is dinge wat jou ook nog pla, dinge wat jou terughou. Kom wys my wie jy is en wie jy graag wil wees. Kom wees net jy, kom wees net jy. As jy wil tyd vat hierdie keer, kom vat 'n rukkie hier by my. As jy wil tyd vat, kom wees hier rondom my. Kom wees hier rondom my, net as jy wil, net as jy wil. Right, now if we look at the English translation, I've put it up that you know what the content is about, but if we look at it and we look at the translation, it doesn't always make sense if we translate it line by line, but let's just have a look. So rondom my means around me. So the writer of this poem has now written a poem about someone that wants someone to be close to him. Okay, so it says, he says, I want to take my time this time. I must take my time this time because the hastiness in me has already far too many times got me down. So he's trying to say in stanza 1 that he needs to take time this time in a relationship because he's always rushed into new relationships and then it didn't work and it had a negative effect on his emotions. He says the following in stanza 2. I want to take my time this time. I must take my time this time. I see the blue in you through the little in your eyes. I know there are things that also still bother you, things that hold you back. Come show me who you are and who you would like to be. Come and be just you, come and be just you. So once again he says he has to take time when he approaches this relationship and he can see in her eyes, the eyes are the color blue, that's the one meaning, but on the other hand it also refers to the sadness. He can see in her eyes because she has also had relationships that haven't worked out. And because of these relationships that failed, he can see that there are still things bothering her, things holding her back, and he would like her to come and show him who she truly is, who she would like to be, and very important in a relationship, she needs to show him who she truly is as a person. Okay, and then the last stanza, die laaste strofe. If you want to take time this time, come take a moment here by me, next to me. If you want to take time, come and be around me. Come and be around me. Only if you want to. Only if you want to. So then he says, if he now makes it her choice. He says, if she's willing, he would like her to spend more time with him, but it is her choice. Okay, so that is the content relating to Rondom my. Kom ons ontleed nou die gedig. Let's now have a look at it stanza for stanza. Every single poem that you do in the trick, there are certain poetic devices that you must always be able to identify, and those are the ones that will be asked in the exam. Okay, if you close your eyes the day before your paper and you quickly run through your 10 poems, Rondom needs to pop up in your head and you need to think, okay, those are the 4 things that I need to remember about this poem. If you go to the next poem, the one we do tomorrow, Palimpsest, then you need to close your eyes and think, okay, those are the 4 things I need to know they are always going to ask. Okay, because that's easy. Also, when approaching your paper 2, your poetry is studying. Okay, you obviously need to understand the poem, but if you can identify where everything is, all the poetic devices, those are already marks that you have gained in the paper. So kom ons kyk. Ek sê hierso die tipe gedig is 'n lyriek of 'n lied. Okay, so the type of poem, it's a lyrical poem or a song. Dawie de Jager, hy's die digter, he's the poet. Okay, hy is eintlik 'n lid van Klopjag. Okay, he's actually a member of the band Klopjag. Okay, and he wrote this specific song. Don't confuse die digter met die spreker. The poet isn't necessarily the speaker in the poem. Okay, that's very important to be able to make that distinction. Okay, so kom ons kyk verder. Rondom my, dis die titel, that's the title. En jy moet weet wat die titel beteken. You need to know what the title means. So die titel sê, rondom my, so die spreker soek sy geliefde naby hom. The speaker wants the person he's fallen in love with close to him. Okay, kom ons kyk. Ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer. Okay, so ek, dis 'n ek spreker. We've got a first person speaker. En dit word beklemtoon deur tipografiese voorplasing. Okay, by typing the word ek at the start, it is emphasizing the speaker. When we type a word at the start of a sentence, we call it typografische voorplasing. The poet on purpose has put that word at the start of the sentence. But ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer, this time. So this time must be different. Okay, so hierdie verhouding is vir die spreker anders as vorige verhouding. This relationship for the speaker is different than previous ones. It was probably more important. He likes the girl more. So therefore he says, this time I need to take my time. Okay, then you'll see with the exception of wil and moet, these 2 lines are repeated. Ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer, ek moet my tyd vat hierdie keer. So ek sê hierso dis herhaling. Now in rondom my, herhaling is extremely important. Okay, so this is one of those things when I close my eyes, I must remember rondom my, herhaling. Okay, so die herhaling beklemtoon dat die verhouding meer vir die spreker beteken as enige van sy vorige verhoudings. The reason why this is repeated is to emphasize, beklemtoon, please, not the word emphasize, it doesn't exist in Afrikaans, nee, but beklemtoon that this relationship means more to the speaker than any of his previous ones. Want die haastigheid in my het my al veel keer. Now I've underlined the double E because that is an example of assonancy, assonance. The overall terminology that you also need to know for assonansie and alliterasie, for assonance and alliteration is halfrym. So when you see in a question the word halfrym, immediately think to yourself, okay, that can only be assonansie or alliterasie. Okay, because sometimes they ask you, watter tipe halfrym kom in reël 4 voor? Okay, and then you go, what is halfrym? Okay, but then you must now remember it's assonansie and alliterasie. Okay, and then line 5. Ondergekry is on its own in the line. So when a word is on its own in a line, it's called alleenplasing. It's been placed all by itself. En dit versterk die spreker se hulpelose en moedelose gevoel. Okay, by placing this word on its own in a line, it's emphasizing the speaker's helpless feeling. Okay, ondergekry. Once again, there's repetition, ja, herhaling. En dit beklemtoon die effek van die vorige mislukte verhoudings op die spreker. Okay, so it emphasizes the effect the previous failed relationship has had on the speaker. Okay, it's left him depressed, sad. Okay, and then a note I put here, because this is a lyrical poem, a lied, right, die herhaling van reels 1 en 2 dien dan as 'n tipe refrein. The repetition of line 1 and 2 then serves as a type of chorus. That's what the word refrain means, the chorus of a song. Okay, so it is a type of chorus. You will see it repeats again in the next stanza as well. Okay, so nou is ons by die volgende strofe 2. Ek wil my tyd vat hierdie keer, ek moet my tyd vat hierdie keer. Once again, you'll see this is the same as line 1 and 2. Therefore, I say dit dien as 'n tipe refrein. Now look at the two lines. Ek wil my tyd vat, ek moet my tyd vat. There's a distinct difference between these two. If I say ek wil iets doen, I've got a choice. Okay, so if I say I want to, right, I do have a choice in something. If I say ek moet, dan het ek nie 'n keuse nie. Right, if I say I must, I don't have a choice. So he says, I want to take my time, then he goes, I must take my time. So there's a definite urgency when he writes the line, ek moet my tyd vat hierdie keer. When we progress in a feeling, like I've got a choice, then I don't have a choice. Right, that is called progressie. Progression, is something that we must probably also ask when you get asked the poem Rondom my. Goed, ek sien die blou in jou, die repetisie in jou oor. Die blou, they will ask about line 9 in Rondom my. Die blou hier is 'n vorm van woordspeling. It's a form of wordplay. Die blou verwys na die meisie se oogkleur. So, in a literal manner, the blue is referring to her eye color. Figuratively, verwys die blou na hoe sy voel, depressief. So in a figurative manner, the blue is referring to how she's feeling. Ek het hier geskryf depressief. She's feeling depressed, she's feeling blue, she's feeling down because her previous relationships also haven't worked out. Just know the jou in the poem is referring to the person being addressed, which is the geliefde. Okay, so die aangesprokene is dieselfde as die geliefde. Right. Then just have a look, just like in stanza 1, the ek is every time at the start of the line in the poem. Goed, ek weet daar is dinge wat jou ook nog pla, dinge wat jou terughou. Kom wys my wie jy is en wie jy graag wil wees. So ons het weer halfrym, hierdie keer alliterasie. We once again we've got alliteration, and the reason why they've made use of alliteration and assonance in this poem, because it enriches the sound of this poem. This is a song after all, therefore it has to sound good. Okay, so that's why they have made use of alliteration and assonance. Ek het hier gesê versterk klankrykheid. Okay, it makes the sound become more apparent, and that is the function. Daai versterk die klankrykheid is die funksie van die alliterasie en die assonansie. It is the function of the alliteration, and assonance know that that is the function. Dan, kom wees net jy, kom wees net jy. So die belangrikste ding in 'n verhouding is om jouself te wees. That's why this is repeated, because the most important thing in the relationship is to be yourself. If you are not yourself, your relationship will not work. Goed, die laaste strofe. As jy wil tyd vat hierdie keer, kom vat 'n rukkie hier by my. Now it changes, there's progression. In stanza 1 and 2, he has very clearly stated what he wants. He says, ek wil tyd met jou spandeer. He wants to have her close to him, he wants to spend time with him. But now there's a change in the poem. Okay, so there's also progression. Die spreker gee die geliefde die opsie om te kies of sy by hom wil wees. It's changed now. He goes, if you want to, come and spend a bit of time with me. Okay, so he now gives her the option to choose if she wants to spend time with him, unlike the previous two stanzas where he has said, what I want. Okay, so he's changed now. And then they will most probably ask you in line 19, where die ellips, the ellipsis, but die gedagte is nie voltooi nie, die ellips gee die leser die kans om woorde in te vul om die gedagte te voltooi. So he says, as jy wil tyd vat, kom wees hier rondom my, net as jy wil. Okay, only if you want to. So the thought isn't completed. The ellipsis gives the reader the chance to actually fill in words to complete the thought. Now, if I were to ask this poem, I will ask you about the ellipse, and I would ask you to complete the sentence for me. Okay, I would ask you to finish the sentence. So that is a nice question. It's a question where you won't find the answer in the text. You need to think for yourself. So you could answer by saying, net as jy wil, saam met my tyd spandeer, of net as jy wil naby my wees. Okay, so think of possible ways you could complete that sentence, because it is something that they like asking as well. Now die stemming, that means the tone. Die stemming is beide die spreker en aangesprokene is versigtig om in 'n verhouding betrokke te raak. Both the speaker and the person being addressed is careful to get involved in a relationship again. So daar's 'n versigtigheid, waaksaamheid, okay, when it comes to this poem. Now, for every one of your 10 poems, you do need to know the theme of the poem. That is extremely important. So ek het hierso geskryf die tema, moenie haastig wees nie vir alles wat by verhoudings kom. Don't rush into relationships. That's important. If you wrote die liefde, then you would also get your mark. Okay, you need to find one that works the best for you, the easiest to remember. This one just summarizes what the poem is about nicely. So moenie haastig wees nie vir alles wat by verhoudings kom. Now, if I can give you some guidance when you are studying the poem, try and use the same color for alliteration, theme, assonance, all of those things, and make lists of, for example, the theme of all the various poems on one page, that you've got it all together, that when they ask theme, you immediately know what is going to be asked. Okay, as ons nou kyk, I've taken questions from a past paper. It is the Eastern Cape 2017 September paper 2. It is available on the internet. Okay, nou kom ons kyk na die tipe vrae. Now, in an exam, you will get asked 2 poems only seen poetry. In Afrikaans, you don't get unseen poetry. Afrikaans is the traditional language. And then usually, it's always for 35 marks, but then the first poem usually is worth 18 marks, and the second poem worth 17 marks. Okay, that then calculates to your 35 marks. You have to answer both the poems. Okay, once again, in that question paper, if you want to start with your poetry first, as long as you complete the whole section, that is perfectly fine. So kom ons kyk. Okay, I see I had a question here, ma'am. Are we going to do a paper to example? Yes, this is a paper to example that I'm busy doing now. It's the 2017 Eastern Cape September paper. Okay, so let's have an example. Let's go through the example questions. 9.1. Watter kenmerk van hierdie gedig maak van dit 'n lyriek? So I have tried to identify words in red and that I thought you might not know the meaning of, and then I've written them in red. So kenmerk means characteristic. So what characteristic of this poem makes it a song, a lyrical poem? Now, if you get asked this question, and it is often asked when they ask Rondom my, you can just say die reëls wat herhaal word, the lines that are repeated. Okay, I told you they will ask you about repetition in this poem, and that is exactly what they've done in line 1. Goed, 9.2.1 vra, haal 2 agtereenvolgende woorde uit strofe 1 aan, wat daarop dui dat die spreker al in vorige verhoudings betrokke was. So you have to quote 2 consecutive words. Okay, yesterday when we went through a paper, we had the word opeenvolgende. Opeenvolgende en agtereenvolgende both mean the same, right? So, hierso, as hulle sê, haal 2 agtereenvolgende woorde uit strofe 1 aan, you only quote 2 words standing next to each other. This time it's hierdie keer. Okay, I see I've got a question here. Are the exams different in each province? Your September exams often are based, your prelims are based on the province. However, at the end of the year, your National Senior Certificate exams are all the same. Okay, the whole country writes the same exam. Okay, dan 9.2.2. Watter woord in strofe 1 sê vir ons dat hy hierdie keer nie 'n keuse het in sy anderse benadering nie? Okay, so which word in stanza 1 tells us that this time he doesn't have a choice in his different approach? Okay, and we did discuss that. I said the word moet, I must do something, then I don't have a choice. So 9.3. Watter ironiese teenstelling, that means ironic contrast, is daar tussen die titel en reël 14? Okay, so the ironic contrast. Now look, this is worth 2 marks. Dit is vir 2 punte. Now this question, when it comes to irony, you're either going to get 0 or you're going to get the 2 marks. You never get 1 out of 2. Okay, so you have to state both sides to get the 2 marks. So ek sê hier, in reël 14 wil hy vir haar ruimte gee, maar in die titel is dit duidelik dat haar terselfde tyd naby hom wil hê. In line 14, he wants to give us space. He gives us a choice if you want to come and stay close to me. He gives us a choice, but in the title, it is very clear that he wants her close to him. Okay, so that's what they're getting at this question. Dan 9.4, Watter karaktertrek van die spreker het sy vorige verhouding laat faal? Sy made it fail. Okay, so which characteristic of the speaker made his previous relationships fail? Sy oorhaastigheid. The fact that he rushed into everything. If you wrote down sy haastigheid as it was written in the poem, I'm pretty sure you will get the mark for that as well. Like 9.5, look, again a question about herhaling. Wat wil die digter beklemtoon deur die herhaling van ondergekry in reël 5 en 6? So what does the speaker want to emphasize by repeating the word ondergekry in reël 5 en 6? Goed, hy wil beklemtoon dat sy vorige mislukte verhoudings hom pyn veroorsaak het. He wants to emphasize that his previous failed relationships have caused him pain. Right, I see Kendra has a question. Is there any beeldspraak in this poem? You can say that the blow, when we refer to our eyes, is a metaphor if you want to, right? You can then say that the beeldspraak is a metaphor, the blow, but I'm going to get to that when we get to the question about it now. Goed, nou sê 9.6.1, hoe weet die spreker dat daar nog onsekerheid by sy geliefde is oor hul verhouding? How does the speaker know that she's still unsure about the relationship? But hy kan dit in haar oë sien. He can see it in her eyes. Remember, I said they will ask you about that line, die blou in haar oë. And then, Kendra, this is what you asked, is the example of beeldspraak. So the line that has, wat is die blou wat hy in haar oë sien, that blou can be a metaphor for die hartseer of onsekerheid van die vorige verhouding. Okay, the sadness, the uncertainty, that's what onsekerheid means, of the previous relationship. Just remember, beeldspraak consists out of 3 things. It can only be a metafoor, personifikasie en vergelyking. Okay, those 3 things are the overall terminology for beeldspraak. So when you see beeldspraak, you need to remember it can only be 3 things. Is it personification? Is it a metaphor? Or is it a comparison? Okay, those 3 things. It cannot be anything else. If you get asked halfrym, it's only alliterasie and assonansie. If you get asked beeldspraak, it's only metafoor, vergelyking and personifikasie. Okay, so if you know your overall terminology, you already know what they want in a question. Okay, kom ons kyk na vraag 9.7.1. Wat wil die spreker volgens reël 12 hierdie keer eers doen voordat hy ernstig raak met die verhouding? Right, according to line 12, what does the speaker want to do before he becomes serious in this relationship? En hy sê, hy wil haar eers leer ken. Okay, he wants to get to know her first, right, before he gets serious in the relationship. Okay, dan sê 9.7.2, waarom is dit reg dat die spreker hierdie besluit neem soos by vraag 9.7.1 genoem? Okay, so please carefully look at this question. It says, why is it right that the speaker takes this decision as mentioned in question 9.7.1? Now this is actually an awful question, because if you get this wrong, then most probably you're going to lose these marks, so then you lose 3 out of the 18 marks. Right, so kom ons kyk. Why is it right to only get to know her before you get serious about the relationship? Nou sê dit hier 2 feite, give 2 facts. Now, for the purpose of the explanation, I have put my stuff in bullet points because it shows easier on the screen, and it's easier to read. However, please, in an exam paper, do not bullet point your answers. Okay, because otherwise, if, for example, you bullet pointed and you put a sentence in your first bullet point that's got an N. So let's say I wrote, hulle sal mekaar beter verstaan en hulle sal dan besluit of hulle wil voortgaan met die verhouding. Okay, as my first bullet point. And my second bullet point was something completely wrong. You are only going to get 1 out of 2 because they mark it as bullet point 1 is the first fact, bullet point 2 is the second fact. Where if you just write it as 2 sentences or 3 sentences, they will read through it and then they read, oh, sentence 1 with the N contains both the answers, 2 marks, and then you're fine. Okay, so please don't bullet point. I've only done it for the purpose of this presentation. Goed, so, hoekom is dit reg dat hy eers wil leer ken? Hulle sal mekaar beter verstaan. They will understand one another better. Goed, en hulle sal dan besluit of hulle wil voortgaan met die verhouding. Okay, instead of rushing into this relationship, if they know one another better, they will also then decide if they want to continue with the relationship or not. Okay. Okay, someone has asked, if we get 9.7.1 wrong, will we also get 9.7.2 wrong? Right, no, you won't. So let's say you got this wrong, but your 2 facts are right here. You will get your 2 marks here. The only problem that I foresee is that if you get this wrong, you might be on the wrong track here. However, you will not lose all 3 marks. You will still get your 2 marks here if 9.7.1 was incorrect. Goed, kom ons kyk na die laaste paar vragies oor die gedig. Let's look at the last few questions. Nou 9.8 sê, waarom is die paarrym in hierdie gedig baie gepas? Now, paarrym is when line 1 and 2 rhyme and line 3 and 4 rhyme. In this poem, it isn't very clear the paarrym because it's often the same word that's repeated at the end of the line. Okay. In fact, I personally don't think we've got very clear examples of paarrym in this poem. However, if a question like this is asked, right, about paarrym here just refers to die gedig handel oor 'n paartjie. There's made use of paarrym because the poem is about a couple. So you've got a rhyming couplet, okay, something like that. So paarrym here is referring to emphasize that this poem is about 2 people in a relationship. But I see I have a question on what does beeldspraak mean. Beeldspraak is referring to 3 things, and only 3 things. It is the overall terminology for metafoor, vergelyking, en personifikasie. So it is the overall terminology for a metaphor, comparison or simile, and personification. Okay. Goed, so dan 9.9, waarom herhaal die digter die titel in reël 17 en 18? So why does the poet, once again, this is my 3rd question on repetition in Rondom. Okay, en waarom herhaal die digter die titel in reël 17 en 18? Vir 2 redes. give 2 reasons. Okay, so this is for 2 marks. Okay, dit bind die gedig tot 'n eenheid. It creates unity in the poem. Dit beklemtoon dat hy sy geliefde naby hom soek. It emphasizes that he wants his loved one close to him. Okay, remember the word beklemtoon, please. There's no such word as emphasize. A lot of you write that in question papers, please. It is beklemtoon, and you can't just write as an answer om te beklemtoon. Okay, you need to say what is being emphasized. Okay, I know you guys often joke about, ja, om te beklemtoon will get me the mark. You actually need to say what is being emphasized. Goed, dan 9.10 vraag, dink jy nie dat die spreker 'n bietjie selfsugtigheid teenoor sy geliefde openbaar nie? Motiveer jou antwoord. Okay, so 9.10 is your own opinion question. You're not going to find the answer in the text. It's not something that you are able to study ahead of the time. You need to think, yeah, right, and interpret the question. So it asks you, don't you think that the speaker is showing selfishness towards his loved one? Okay, motivate your answer. Now, this is for 1 mark. You are not getting a mark for the ja or the nee at all. You're getting a mark for the reason. However, if you do not put the ja or the nee there, you won't get the mark. If the ja and the nee is spelled incorrectly, you will also not get the mark. And remember, when you say nee, the reason has to go with why you say nee. Or when you say ja, the reason has to go with why you've said ja to get the mark. Okay, so I've given you 2 options. Don't you think he's showing a little bit of selfishness towards his loved one? Nee, look at the spelling of nee. You do not spell nee, N-I-E. Okay, that means nie. Okay, that's the negative word. Nee is N-E-E. Hy wil haar nie verloor nie, en hy gee haar die keuse om te besluit of sy meer tyd met hom wil spandeer. So no, he's not showing selfishness because he doesn't want to lose her, and he's giving her the choice to decide if she wants to spend more time with him or not. Or maybe you think he is depicting some form of selfishness. Then you say ja, and look how ja is spelled. It's J-A, not Y-A. There's no word like Y-A. It seems like an Afrikaans wrapper. If you spell it Y-A, it's J-A. Okay, that's important. But hy gee haar nie baie ruimte nie. Okay, so you could have said, yes, he is showing selfishness towards her because he's not giving her a lot of space. He wants her close to him the whole time. Okay, but that would have gotten, that's your own opinion. It depends on how you've expressed yourself, if you have answered, for you to get this mark. Dan sê 9.11, met watter woord in strofe 1 vorm tydvat 'n kontras. So what word from stanza 1 is in contrast with take your time? En dit is haastigheid, hastiness. En dan die laaste vraagje vir hierdie spesifieke vraag, watter houding by die spreker word deur reëls 9, 19 en 20 openbaar? So jou houding is your attitude. Okay, so what attitude from the speaker is depicted through lines 19 and 20? That's the last to the net as jy wil. But so his attitude is, hy wil nie aan sy geliefde voorskryf nie. He doesn't want to be prescriptive in the relationship, of hy het begrip vir haar gevoelens, or he does understand her feelings. Right, so when we look at this specific poem, there is a few things that you need to take note of. Poetry is studying. Gedigte is leerwerk. You have to please study. Okay, dan daar is sekere goed wat altyd gevra gaan word. You have to be able to identify there are certain things that will always be asked in a poem, and you need to be able to identify those things. But in hierdie gedig byvoorbeeld is herhaling baie belangrik. In this poem, repetition is extremely important. You saw how many questions were asked in this past paper relating to repetition. En dan sê ek maak seker jy ken die inhoud van elke gedig baie goed. Study the poem. Okay, know the content really well. Be able to identify the things that we have identified in the poem today. Know where alliteration is, know where assonance is, know the function of herhaling, know the progression that we have discussed. That is extremely important, because then at least when you open your question paper at the end of the year and you see, oh gosh, they've asked Rondom my, this is most probably what they're going to ask. So you feel more familiar with the poem. This is really just studying, and you can actually start doing it now. As we finish the poem, you can start studying the poetry. But if there are any other questions you can ask relating to the poem, in tomorrow's lesson, I am going to have a look at palimpsest, okay? En ek gaan dit behandel en vra uit 'n ou vraestel bespreek. I am going to go through the poem palimpsest. That's your next poem, and I'm also going to discuss questions from a past paper, because I think that is extremely important to go through those questions. Palimpsest can be a very difficult question to poem to do, but yeah, that is what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I hope in tomorrow's lesson that you will join me again, and then we can go through palimpsest, we can work through a past paper. I do hope that Rondom my is clearer and that you understand it better. I hope to see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Please follow us on our social media pages, and then I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please attend all your other lessons and study hard and keep safe and healthy. Okay guys, keep well. Bye.